everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, January 8th, 2023. We're having a baby! Congratulations, everybody! I feel like this baby belongs to us. It's ours. We get to keep it. Sally can hire the nanny and take care of all the boarding school costs and whatever, but soap opera babies belong to the fans. So who wants to throw the baby shower? Raise your hand if you want to be in charge. I just want to make the cake. Oh, yes. We have confirmation. Sally's pregnancy test is positive, which means that Chloe had better rest up now because, yes, Sally is going to be spending the next 9 months cooking a Newman baby, but Chloe is going to have to be nagging Sally daily for doing the double daddy duty thing here. It is like going to be on Chloe's to-do list every single day. She wakes up, she looks at her task list. Did I nag Sally yet today? Yep, check. That's her whole new year. Nagging Sally. But, I mean, it's intriguing. Pregnant with the billionaire brother's baby. It's a Harlequin title. But which brother is the one? Which billionaire brother am I pregnant with? Oh, the troubles. That is the whole question, though, right? That is the question. The poll question. I've been waiting for 3 weeks now to ask you guys this. Let's get into it. Let's predict it. Who's the baby daddy? You know you want to weigh in on that. So go to yrchat.com to cast your vote. Who do you think is the baby daddy? And side question, who do you think Sally wants the baby daddy to be? Obvious answer is Nick. But who knows? Maybe her feelings will start to change when it comes to Adam as she starts to consider the possibility that he could be the father of her child. I think right now it's like her initial reaction was shock and denial. And I think she's trying to double down on Nick, telling herself that that's what she wants, that that's what the outcome has to be. So she slept with him again on Friday, as if sleeping with him a couple of more times will make sure that it's his baby. That's how it works, right? It's the amount of times of who you slept with that ends up being the sperm donor. I'm going to go right along with it for what it is, because I did enjoy this week Nick being right there. He was right there in Sally's hotel room while Sally was in the bathroom taking the pregnancy test, and Chloe was out in the main room trying to distract him from that fact. And then he came back later to practically rifle through her trash right after she threw away her what to expect during the first trimester pamphlet. So I think those were 2 fun, classic soapy moments of suspense. You know, is Nick gonna bust her? No, of course not. And then we have Adam waiting in the wings, totally unknowing, the dark horse, showing Sally all kinds of kindness. I mean, he showed up at the coffee house the morning after she found out that she was pregnant, and he was very understanding toward her, very kind, and then she ran off to the doctor's appointment to confirm it. I feel bad for Adam Adam, though, in all of this, because I just have a feeling that when it's time for Sally to finally admit to everyone that she's pregnant, I think she's going to be pushing Adam away. Based on the way she's reacting now, I feel like Sally's going to say, no, 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 this is Nick's baby. Go away, Adam. I don't want you. It's not yours. Don't talk crazy about it. So, yeah, I think Adam is probably going to have to fight to get Sally to even admit that it could be his child. I could be wrong, but I just feel like this has the potential to send Adam into a very dramatic teen vampire tizzy while he's waiting for the results and fighting for even the possibility of becoming a father again. Oh, yes, I predict a lot of drinking and brooding out of Adam over the next couple of months. Maybe we'll get some extra hair gel and see him wearing some black nail polish too. But then apparently being depressed, a depressed teen vampire, has been great for Adam's career. Jack says that Adam has been doing a great job at Chabot. When? When has Adam been doing this great job at Chabot? I haven't seen him there. When was the great job done? Was it between him following Sally around and falling asleep drunk on the Grand Phoenix rooftop and now all the time he's spending with Chelsea? He's never at Chabot. Does he work from home? Does he even have a home anymore? I don't know. Oh, this is messy. It's messy, so I vote that we should make it as messy as possible. If it's going to be messy, we need to make it, ridiculously messy. If Sally has to be pregnant, then I hope we go all in. I want twins. I want twin babies. 2 little red-headed demon Newman children running around. One belongs to Nick and one belongs to Adam. I think it's possible. Not only possible, but I think it could totally happen. It's got to be fun. We got to have fun with this one. So Sharon and Chance ate Ethiopian food together this week, and maybe next week they'll eat Peruvian food. That's exciting. Genoa City apparently has a whole lot of varied cuisine that I didn't know that they had. It's hard to imagine that they have anywhere other than Society to eat, because that's the only place they really eat. But come to find out, Ethiopian and Peruvian food? Wow! I think that Gina needs to come back into town and open up a new Italian restaurant or something. Her name was mentioned this week, so I think she should, come open a rival restaurant for Sharon and Chance to dine at. Well, I wasn't thrilled about this at first, but I am actually enjoying Sharon and Chance having their own little private supper club for 2. Geez, Sharon, you're subtle. It didn't seem like Chance was going to pick up on it at first, and then he did. But yeah, I approve of them spending more time together while we wait for the paternity test results, and then Sharon can hook back up with whichever brother the baby ain't. The end of Billy and Lily. Even couples counseling could not save them. What a bummer. A real bummer. But luckily, they're both lined right up for their new relationship. So we have that going for us. In the previews for next week, Billy is crying in Chelsea's apartment, telling her about the breakup with Lily. Okay, it's in the stars there. And truthfully, if Billy and Chelsea are friends, well, friends talk about their troubles. And so, Billy was okay to talk to Chelsea about his troubles with Lily this week. Chelsea, interestingly, immediately jumped to the conclusion that all of Billy and Lily's troubles were about him spending too much time with her. And Billy said, no, actually, that's the one thing that Lily and I do agree on, that I need to be with you right now. And I thought, wait. What was it? Have you been listening to Lily at all? I mean, Billy definitely showed an understanding that the larger issue between he and Lily is his addictive personality. But currently, that addictive personality is pointed in Chelsea's direction, and everyone knows it. Everyone. So, I'm not sure Billy's being fully honest with himself yet. But Chelsea, to her credit, she gave Billy a pep talk, and she told him, let's not buy into all of the negative feelings that you have about yourself and that you project the other people have about you. Don't let it be the case that you lose Lily if you want Lily. You know you love her, so why don't you go fight for her? And so that's what he tried to do. He asked to meet with Lily, and he told her that he would do whatever it takes to save the relationship, even if it means going to counseling. Let's do it. Let's get this back on track. And I really liked that initial scene because I thought Lily made a very interesting point. That last week, when it first came up that maybe they should take a break from each other, Billy didn't really fight that suggestion at all. I hadn't thought of that, but it is very true. Lily proposed it, that they needed space, and Billy just accepted it as a foregone conclusion when maybe what she really wanted was for him to stop her, for him to tell her, no, I love you, I want you, and I want our life back. And maybe it was just all too little too late. He did that, but it was too late. And then they went to the counseling, and apparently it was so brutal that they both just came to the conclusion that the problems that they have are apparently insurmountable. Fail for the counselor there. The couple immediately went home and broke up. Or maybe it's a win, actually. Maybe he does a good job of helping couples realize when it's time to stop, couples who shouldn't be together. Although I don't know that that's the case with Billy and Lily. I've enjoyed them. So I'm giving myself this space to mourn their breakup. And usually when the couples are on this track, it's the beginning of the end, and I suppose we've seen that coming for a while with Billy and Lily. Y&R, once they show you a couple having problems, it's done. And also, it kind of seemed this week like Y&R was maybe testing Lily for chemistry with other people, including Nick. I thought that had some potential. I thought that maybe a Lily, Billy, Nick triangle could have been good. I like the idea of Sally with Daniel. I wish it would have been like a Sally, Daniel, Adam triangle. I like that. I would rather give Adam someone to rival with who doesn't share his DNA. That would be my preference. But, and I'm also a little bit tired, though, of the Billy and Adam rivalry, too. But, I don't know. I guess it's just going to be Billy and Chelsea now. Hook, line, sinker. That's it. End of the day. Lily and Daniel, no contest here. Maybe Nick comes. I don't know. I just think Nick is so firmly entrenched in the story with Sally now. So I guess it's Lily and Daniel and Billy and Chelsea. And did you notice that when Billy said that he wanted to fix things with Lily, she kind of told Daniel that it was okay for him to do his job remotely. He tried to talk to her about his relationship, and maybe she thought it was a little too close for comfort. And then Billy said he wanted to fix things, and so Lily said, okay, well, it's okay if you want to go back to Savannah or whatever and work on your family situation. She seemed like she was almost pushing him away a little bit. And then after Billy and Lily determined that it was officially over, Lily went right back to looking at that text from Daniel. Yeah, I think Lily is coming into a realization of her own that maybe there was actually always going to be another hurdle when it came to her relationship with Billy. Maybe it was more than one hurdle. and specifically the hurdle is that she's working every day right beside her sexy ex. I am really impressed with Victoria. She's hurting. I understand it. And instead of exerting her considerable amount of power to just make the pain go away, she seems like she's trying to look at the situation from outside of herself and really trying to do what's best for her son. I mean, when it comes to Johnny and Chelsea, the cat's not going to go back into the bag. It's not a secret anymore. Johnny knows that Chelsea is his birth mother. And in fact, Victoria approved that information being given to him. So now, if Victoria were to go in with a heavy hand and started putting up roadblocks to Johnny and Chelsea seeing each other, then she automatically becomes the bad guy. She automatically becomes the Wicked Witch of the West, like she was with Reed. But on the other hand, if she actively encourages the relationship between Chelsea and Johnny at a time when Johnny is naturally probably going to be pulling away from her anyway, I think Victoria's worried that she's going to lose him forever. But that's really all rooted in an insecurity, isn't it? I mean, Johnny's not going to start seeing Chelsea as mom and then just, give Victoria the boot. That's never going to happen. Victoria is the only mother that Johnny has ever known. She's the mother who raised him, who nurtured him, who made him what and who he is. I don't think that's ever going to change, and even on Johnny's part, even at the age that he's at. But yet, here we are, seeing Victoria Newman, this woman of great power and great importance. She's trying to manage her fear that she won't be powerful enough to stop herself from becoming obsolete or unimportant to her own son. She's so important in her life, and she's terrified she's going to become unimportant to her son. Oh, that's deep, Allie. Summer is going to Paris for a little while. And she's taking Harrison with her. Isn't that great? Your husband, the situation with your husband, I'm just going to go to Paris and take the child with me. I'll be back. I'm just going for Fashion Week or whatever it is. I'll be back. I'll take the private jet there, and then I'll be back on the private jet in a couple of days. You deal with your family. You deal with the mother-in-law. Summer's got a mother-in-law issue, and so she just hops on the private jet and goes to Paris. The only mistake she's making is taking the kid. I just leave him and his mommy and the kid and go to Paris. What good's having money if you can't do that? Oh. Well, I'm loving this. This really piqued my interest this week. I think that the actress who's playing Summer now is great. She completely reminds me of Laura Lee Bell back in the day, and I don't know why I see it, but I see it. I wonder if anybody else does. There's just something in the way she carries herself, I guess. But I'm totally in love with her. I was completely enthralled watching her break down this week, finally, after being a potted plant throughout most of this Diane craziness. Finally, Summer broke down, and she admitted to Daniel that she's been faking it for months now, just going along with what her husband wants in order to keep the peace and save her marriage, trying to put her marriage first. And she had a big fight with Kyle over the whole thing on Friday, saying, she understands his need to protect his mother, but it has spiraled. It's become dangerous. They got this whole cat and mouse thing going on with a criminal. A white collar criminal, but I mean, you know, I'm being told he's dangerous. He's got beautiful deep blue eyes. He's dangerous and he's attractive. Dangerous. My God, he's attractive. He's dangerous. Oh, gotta get out of town. But yeah, you know, I mean, Summer, she said this week, I got a son to worry about. I'm tired of masquerading. Whole thing has cost me my relationship with my mother, and maybe it's right to. I did feel a lot of sympathy for Phyllis this week. I was feeling her perspective on Summer and Kyle. I mean, they fired her, but not Diane. Okay, all right. But then they spent Christmas Eve with Diane instead of Phyllis. I mean, okay, spend it with Diane, but then they didn't make any room in the schedule for Phyllis. Phyllis didn't even get to see Harrison open up the gifts that she got him. That is rude. You know how much Phyllis loves Harrison. We see it all the time. He's got his DD and his PP. No. Oh. Well. Yeah, now Phyllis can see that Diane's back. She just got like this private escort off to a safe harbor. Now she's back and everyone's still protecting her. She's lost nothing. She's still working at Marquette's. She's still spending all of her time at the house, spending time with what is also Phyllis's family. It seems like Phyllis is not even being considered family at this point. And you could make the argument that she has made herself unwelcome. But she is still Summer's mother. You know, they still have to deal with her. And Phyllis, I think, really has been pulling the emotional strings for the last 2 weeks, especially with Summer. And I think it has started to hit home with Summer. A lot of Summer's reaction is in response to Phyllis pulling those emotional strings. I think Phyllis has tried to let Summer have all of the cards. She certainly had all of the emotional cards, and maybe now Phyllis just is realizing that she still has a few of her own to play. Maybe Phyllis and Ashley and Nikki all have a little larceny coming their way. Oh, I love this. I love this. Diane has decided to rob someone to prove herself to Jeremy. Phyllis and Ashley are too obvious of a target to fool him and keep up the ruse, but not Nikki. So Nikki's got it coming. Oh, this can be so great. What is Diane gonna steal from Nikki? Money? Jewels? A horse portrait from the ranch living room wall? That one gets my vote. If she comes trotting into Jeremy's room with a horse portrait from the Newman Ranch, well, bravo. Oh, I really liked the scene with the Jack and Diane fake fight. They had a big argument in front of Jeremy, but I guess that wasn't enough. I mean, Diane was pretending to just show back up in town after having been gone, having split. But she is saying that she has come back into town for Jeremy. She wants to be with Jeremy, and that's what he believes, that Diane's come back to town with him, or that's what he supposedly believes. And Jack and Diane had to stage a little argument there in front of Jeremy. Jack saying that he was washing his hands of her. But then they keep meeting in public all over town, having little meetings at the coffee house. Jack was right there right after she met with Jeremy at Society last week, so they're not being very discreet. They're just, she meets with him, and then she meets with Jeremy in public, then she meets with Jack in public to talk about whether or not the plan is working. They got a whole lot to talk about, but they have not yet talked about or acknowledged the New Year's kiss. That's what's throwing me off. I mean, I get that we must just have a whole lot of too much business at hand to discuss what happened with the lips. We're taking care of the business at hand, but not talking about what happened with the lips. I'm confused. Diane actually passed up an offer to move into the Abbott house with Jack for safety. Jack said, for safety, you could come move in here. But she decided she wanted to move back to the Grand Phoenix Hotel, where Jeremy's also staying. He's probably racking up a really hefty hotel bill for the guy who has no job and has been in prison for the last several years. He kind of tried to hint about maybe moving into her hotel room, and she luckily wiggled her way out of that. This is dangerous also because I feel like eventually Jeremy's going to want her to pony up on some of the between the lines innuendos and the eyebrow raises. I feel like Jeremy's going to at one point call her bluff and try to kiss her or sleep with her or something. It's very dangerous. It's all very dangerous and sexy. Oh. And also then there's Tucker staying next door to Diane at the hotel. Tucker stopped by to lay around on Diane's bed for a while and pester her as soon as she got back into town. He just plopped himself right down into the middle of her bed and started looking around at the stuff that she was unpacking from her suitcase. Oh, like he owned the place. Trevor St. John, this guy gets a script, tosses it aside, and says, yeah, but where should I lay down in the scene? All this dialogue is fine, but where am I going to be laying down? Oh, it is his style. But at least he kept his socks on this time, and his shoes. No, it wasn't. He had his shoes off. It was, we saw the socks, yeah. You know, I'm really starting to like him, darn it. I'm hating myself for it, but, you know, when he hopped onto Diane's bed and said goodbye to her and said something like, I hope we both get the Abbott of our dreams, I thought, gosh, I kind of am hoping for that too. I realized I was hoping for it too. And then we get flash forward to these previews where Ashley and Tucker are lying in bed together, looking like they're nude. I don't know whether I should be disappointed in Ashley or impressed. Ashley's probably going to pull the rug out from under him some way, somehow. Because I'm almost kind of wondering if we're moving the relationship with Ashley and Tucker along because we're going to see like an Ashley, Phyllis, Tucker triangle soon. Twice now we've seen Tucker trying to start up a friendship with Phyllis. I think this week he was broaching it as if they could have a mutually beneficial arrangement, but I don't know what Tucker has that Phyllis wants. Tucker already told Ashley that he can't do anything about Diane, and they want the same thing. Ashley and Phyllis want the same thing. I mean, I guess Tucker can somehow use Phyllis and a new friendship with her to his benefit to get to Ashley? I don't know. But, the Diane issue has really hit a boiling point between Jack and Ashley this week. Ashley does not like Diane hanging around the house all of the time. And Jack finally told Ashley, well, you know what? If you don't like it, then you can leave. It sounded for a minute like he was kicking her out of the house. And she said, oh, no. This is my family home, my family business, and Diane Jenkins will never be welcome in it. Ooh, that was so good. I really am enjoying seeing Jack and Ashley go at it. Ooh. What's next? I mean, I feel like there's something brewing here. I wonder if Tucker's going to plant the seed in Ashley's mind that she needs to take over Jabot in order to save Jabot and the Abbotts from Diane. Because Tucker also tried to plant that similar seed in Devon's mind, saying that maybe Devon should take back control of Hamilton Winters to save it from going public when he takes it over with Audra. Ooh. But Devon is onto him. 2 identical ringtones. Bad move, Tucker and Audra. I mean, who does that? Devon is on the case. But first things first, more sex with Abby. Abby and Devon, part 2. Me. Get it? Part 2, me. Whatever, I am so 100% on board with Abby and Devon after that love scene. I mean, the first one had me and the second one just sealed the deal. Melissa Ordway knows how to bring the sexy. She really looked like she was having a good time, and that makes me so happy for her. I felt really happy for her. In her bra. Bustier. And Devon is so smooth and so creamy when he is not being an egomaniac. It was really, really attractive, and I think that they are a very sweet couple. Somehow it works for me. It feels very natural. And Abby said to him, when we're together, it feels so right. It feels so uncomplicated. And now I thought, well, uncomplicated? No. I mean, maybe I've been on this journey with them for the last 2 years. Uncomplicated does not describe it. The whole thing has been overly complicated. And I thought that was interesting because, well, maybe it means that in the scheme of the last 2 years of Abby trying to create her happy family of her dreams, she married what apparently turned out to be the wrong man. She brought in a surrogate and a sperm donor, all just trying to get to the point where she's standing right now in this moment with the baby's father, who she loves. And maybe that's all it needed to be all along. It's been like a really complicated way of getting uncomplicated. Ugh. Abby took off her wedding ring this week, and was it me, or did she seem like she was hinting a little bit about moving in with Devon? Because she was talking about how it doesn't feel right to be living in the Chance family home. And thinking about it, well, yeah, Y&R did kind of quietly retire the Chance Manch. We downsized into just that little bedroom area for the purposes of the breakup. But now she's talking about not being very comfortable there. So, you know, I imagine the Chancellor Mansion's a big set that takes up a lot of space, and maybe the story has drifted so that there's just no one going to be there very much now. So Abby's going to need a new place to live. So I would say in 2023, look forward to Abby and Devon having more staircase sex in the home that they will surely be sharing together by the time Valentine's Day rolls around. It's New Year's week, and Sharon wanted to spend time at Society. That's the place where she married Ray. That's the place where she spent her 1-year anniversary with him. Yeah, it was interesting that she chose to be there. Well, first of all, I have to say, it was very nice to see Sharon somewhere else in town. Don't get me wrong, I love her being cozy at the coffee house too, but she actually got to go out to dinner with Mariah and Tessa. And during the dinner, Mariah and Tessa got a text message from their potential birth mother about an adoption. And now they are flying off to meet her. Will it work out this time? That's the question. It seems almost too easy at this point to just, oh, sure, it'll work out. Feels like there's gonna end up being some other new roadblock. It's intriguing that Mariah and Tessa are wanting a baby so badly, and now Sally's getting a baby that she didn't ask for, you know, right at the same time. And I think that you've seen quite a few comments over the past couple of weeks really wanting to connect those two. It's tempting, you know. Mariah and Tessa want a baby. Sally's not going to have a baby. We all love a twist, but I just don't see how Sally could get away with being pregnant for 9 months and then just give the child away without Nick or Adam trying to put a stop to it. So I think Sally's baby belongs to Sally. And I guess Mariah and Tessa are just going to still be on the long road of adoption. Unless it ties itself up with a bow really quickly. Christine seemed unusually optimistic. Usually Christine doesn't give you too much hope in a legal manner, and especially not in a matter like this where we know things can change so quickly. But when Christine met with Mariah and Tessa to discuss the details, she said that the mother had looked at a lot of applicants, but none as enthusiastically as Mariah and Tessa, so fingers crossed. The Danny and Cricket reunion. Oh, should I call it a reunion? Is that right? I don't know. But it was the best part of my week, I tell you. It gave me all the feels. I had feelings. Especially because I guess I feel that every time that they've come back together since they broke up, it always hits this exact same note of happy sad, but mostly sad. It's like we've both found happiness, but not together. But what if? That's really it. It's the what ifs. Danny and Christine really could have had completely different lives if not for Phyllis. I mean, Phyllis drugged Danny, she slept with him, and then she told him that she was pregnant, and she went to great lengths to try to make him believe that Daniel was his biological son. And as a result, I mean, Danny lost the love of his life, and he has spent the rest of his life accepting and living out the consequences. In fact, this week, even when he was talking to Christine, he just is so apologetic toward her about everything that happened. It's like he's carrying around a penance for it forever. And it's not even a sin that he committed, you know? I mean, Phyllis duped him. And he is always going to be apologetic toward Christine for the life that they didn't get to have. It brought back a lot of memories. And I just thought, Laura Lee Bell was so good. You know, I mean, she's a really good dramatic actress. Her big blue, beautiful eyes welled up with tears. And I think that the chemistry is really there between her and Michael Damian. I mean, they've had decades of sharing the screen there, you know, together, and the flashbacks. I mean, Danny asking her out on a first date to go get a soda. A soda! You can't get that anymore. I mean, that is just a little slice of beauty right there. I want to have a first date and go get a soda. It's just so innocent and yet so hip and so fresh for the time. And looking at Christine with her little curly short bob haircut, and I mean, she just was so bubblegum Pop-Tart teen with her style, and yet, you know, she had already been through a lot. Just so beautiful. They called it a Jabot junior model? Is that what it was? I thought she was just so great with her little hair. Not to be outdone by Danny's hair. He had a mullet, and I am not even going to make fun of it. It was of its time, okay? And I like it. Oh, but those fresh faces and the candlelight dinners and the wedding and the romance, all of it was just dashed in an instant. And, you know, they just were a couple that had so much potential, and they were just left dangling. And now that I think about it, Danny really wasn't around very much after that. He was kind of always after that in and out of town very quickly. While Christine stayed on the show with Paul for a very long time, Danny was mostly here and then gone. I mean, yeah, just here and gone. Just like now. They had their catch up and it all seemed so not long enough. You know, like there was so much to say and not enough time to say it. And like they were just trying to squeeze in as much as possible into a space that was no bigger than the head of a needle. But then Chris offered him a ride to the airport, which, you know, just kind of bought them a little bit more time. And I thought that that was a really brilliant way to end the scene, because it was a goodbye without a tearful goodbye, you know? I mean, like, we can just imagine the goodbye, the tearful goodbye, you know, and we can sort of paint our own picture about what it looked like in a way. I think I'll do that. We didn't get the tearful goodbye, so I will just I will paint a picture of the goodbye as I see it in my head. Well, I think that the picture that I would like to paint includes a stolen kiss, you know? What do you guys think of that? What about that? Christine drops Danny off at the airport, and before he gets out of the car, they fall into a passionate kiss. No one will ever know. It was just them in the car. No one has to know. Not Paul, and not even us. Character isn't revealed through how we fall, but it's how we get back up. I love that line. Thank you, Danny Romalotti. Just another reason to thank Danny Romalotti for stopping by. Character isn't revealed through how we fall, but it's through how we get back up. That was Danny's advice to Daniel about learning from the missteps that he has made. I expected there to be more fans really tuned in to every word that Danny had to say, but there was just a few winners, so extra congratulations to T. Nicole, Diana, Henry, Ron, Daisy, Nancy, Victoria, and Kenzie. You guys all guessed it. Here is a little quotable. Who said this? I'm impervious to your charm. I'm impervious to your charm. Well, if you think you know who said it, you know what to do. Go to yrchat.com to leave your guess. And if you get it right, I will give you your shout out during next week's Y&R Chat. And now on to your comments, starting with Diana, who says, I love this scene with Cricket and Danny. It's great to see classic characters connecting again after all of these years. I really enjoyed seeing the flashbacks of the two of them as well. I wish Michael Damian could be cast on the show. His visit was way too short. I'm sure many fans would love to see his character back on the show. I hope we see him again in the near future. You know, me too. Sherrod says, I see Y&R is trolling us Taraya fans. We have been saying for a few years now that we wanted Danny Romalotti to somehow turn out to be Tessa Porter's father. The show had them both at Crimson Lights, yet no contact whatsoever. And Lauren Fenmore actually spoke to Danny about Tessa and her possibly opening for him at a concert. Again, something that the Taraya fandom wrote about. Now it seems that Danny, Mariah, and Tessa are all about to head at the airport with Cricket going too. I wonder if something is going to happen. Oh, yeah, that might have to be one of those, like, paint your own picture things. I do think he's gone for a while. I mean, I'm not expecting him back anytime soon, but, you do make a really good point, and I remember you've mentioned that before, that it would be a really good twist to find out that Danny is Tessa's father, and even, I guess, if Y&R wasn't able to make that story available now, it does seem like they had a couple of little Easter eggs in there for it. Yeah. Well, T. Nicole says, I really liked that Chelsea decided to text Victoria instead of Billy to ask if she could take Connor and Johnny out for pizza. And I also really liked that Victoria decided to meet Chelsea halfway and agree, but also wanted to be included. I think it's great if Victoria can be more involved in these get-togethers to feel more included, and second, feel more comfortable around Chelsea and Johnny spending time together, even if it's because of Connor. I don't want Victoria to feel excluded, and both Chelsea and Victoria, in their quick text exchange, worked towards that. Yes, both of them made the exact right moves, didn't they? Well, we can't have that forever. We can't have everyone doing the right thing forever. Even though I agree it was totally the right thing. I liked that move. I liked that Chelsea could have gone to Billy, but she didn't. And I liked that Victoria started to shut it down, the pizza request, but then didn't. Yes, but it's only interesting watching people doing the right thing for so long. Well, Ellen says, I love seeing Jack and Adam's friendship being rekindled. I also loved hearing a few lines about Adam doing great things at Jabot. Adam didn't take the compliment and said he has plans for the new year. I just wish he had some fire for his job at Jabot. I want him to shun all things Newman. They've treated him like garbage one too many times. He should succeed where he is. Victor hates it. I liked seeing Victor walk into the Jabot office, and I agree. I think Adam belongs at Jabot. It's just that we don't ever see him there. The job, as well as the friendship with Jack, is only lightly alluded to, and I just want more of him. I mean, it's 100% right. I just want more of it. And I like the way you say, I wish Adam had some fire in him for something at Jabot. I think all of Adam's fire is going toward Sally right now. And, that's where the story is, and that's all well and good. But I think there's a story in here about Adam really taking Jabot to the next level. I mean, maybe while the Abbotts are all doing their whole infighting thing, Adam could be the one to really, really step it up. And who knows, maybe get in there and rival with Newman Enterprises once again. He's got the motive. Jabot versus Newman is a classic story, and Adam's got the motive for the Jabot end, if none of the Abbotts do. Well, Victoria says Adam gave us a big red flag today where Jack is concerned. For Adam to be cautioning Jack shows that the concern is real. Jack is in deep denial about Diane. He said Diane was completely forthright. Seriously, there's a new lie unveiled almost weekly. That Diane acknowledged her sins when she's good and ready, and admitted her regrets continually, and served her penance, which was self-imposed. I'm all for Jack and Diane having a fling. However, he's fallen for her hook, line, and sinker. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Oh, Jack has totally bought everything that Diane is saying. And I think the fact that Phyllis and Ashley have been in his ear telling him not to do it has only pushed him closer to her. Daisy says, I don't think Stark buys Diane's newfound allegiance to him. I think he sees right through her and is just going along with whatever she says for now. But when the time is right, I think he'll reveal the truth, and that will be after Diane does something criminal, which he set up to ensure she'd land in jail. That would be a good twist if Jeremy saw it coming all along and he's planning to do to her exactly what she's trying to do to him. Oh, Gary says, Jack throwing Ashley out of his house, giving her 24 hours to pack up and leave is awesome. Is that what happened, Gary? Jack said, get out of my house. You have 24 hours. And she went up and packed her suitcases and left. Is that it? Yeah, the argument was excellent. It really was. It's just seeing them. And by the way, the cinematography has been really good around those scenes too. I mean, we've had some great, great looking scenes that really, visually represent Jack versus Ashley, with Diane sometimes in the middle. Very good. Yeah, I like that a lot, and I liked seeing Jack throw down, and I liked seeing Ashley really rip back. I mean, she came back with some fire at him at that suggestion, at the idea that he even thought he could push her out of the house or out of the company. I mean, Ashley has proven over and over again that she is an Abbott. She had to fight. I mean, the stuff like Jack having her written out of the company bylaws, all that stuff in like it was like a paternity clause or something. I mean, Jack's done some horrible things to try to establish his dominance in the Abbott family, and Ashley, just at this age and stage, said, hell no. But Sherrod says, yet, as the she-witch snarled at Jack about Diane trying to get into his bed, which has not happened, Ashley will be in Tucker's bed next week. These women like Ashley, Nikki, and Phyllis kill me. The man that they are in a relationship with betrays them, and they can easily forgive them, but the woman who the man slept with must be tarred and feathered. Give me a break. And Ellen says, yes, 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 it's like these women want Jack to just remain an old bachelor growing moldy in Dina's death chair. Thank you for that. Just thank you for the Dina's death chair joke. It's like my favorite ongoing joke. But yeah, I also kind of just love the visual of Jack growing moldy in Dina's death chair. Yeah, that's true. And I do like Sherrod's point here, though, too, that it's the woman's fault. Well, Sue W. says, I do hope that Ashley stays and continues to poke at Jack, Diane, and Tucker, and sure, many chatters. Ashley sticks to her convictions, be they right or wrong, not judging, and I get a kick out of Eileen Davidson always playing the heck out of that. In my humble opinion, she's definitely one of the all-time great ensemble cast members of Y&R. Stick around, Ashley, please. Yeah, Sue, you also brought up something that I hadn't really thought of, but there is always just kind of this understanding that Eileen Davidson's not going to be around for very long. It's like this is the longest that she's been on in a while. And so there is also this part of me always in the back of my mind thinking, well, she's probably going to be moving on soon. I'm sure she'll be going back to Paris or whatever. Or maybe, she has many other projects. It's clear that Eileen Davidson is very gifted, very talented, and she has done many different types of projects and shows. I'm sure she has a lot on her plate, and Y&R is just one of the things. But it is sure nice, I think, having her around. Whether you like it or not, agree with her or not, she brings the steam. Daisy says, I think Ashley was justified when she screamed the obvious point about Diane to Jack. I wonder if she'll do something to protect the family and Jabot from Diane, perhaps even Stark. I think with Jabot, she can bring Diane to the board for removal. She could lay out the threat that Diane may have put Jabot in with her association to Stark. Jack can tell the board how Diane has changed, but actions speak louder than words, and Diane's actions could possibly bring harm to Jabot the way her actions have adversely affected the Abbott family. Although Ashley might just fire Diane herself, insisting that she's protecting her father's company, regardless of what Jack may say. Yeah, I like Ashley asserting her dominance here, or at least asserting her Abbottness here and her rightful place in the home and the business. And wouldn't that be interesting if Ashley just fired Diane? I don't know. Could she pull rank like that? As you say, she could take it to the board. We haven't had a good take it to the board in a while. Oh, well, Naomi says, Kyle is very needy for his mother these days. This couple has typical family dilemmas of who has the worst mother-in-law. Kyle's mother-in-law is unknown, so to speak, but he knows Phyllis is loud, flamboyant, selfish, can be vindictive, and all of her other annoying qualities. But Summer is stuck with St. Diane, and we don't know yet if she's going to be a huge problem. When Diane told Jeremy she was going stir crazy and missed living in the fast lane, I think that was the most truthful thing she ever said. Ooh, I know there's still a lot of people really still think Diane is working an active con here. I just have yet to see any evidence of it. But about Kyle, Sue W. says, I wouldn't mind a Kyle and Summer breakup. Their conflict is not believable to me as viable for the in-sync united front couple they supposedly have been/are. I wouldn't mind if they moved back to Milan. Well, I'd rather Summer stay. I'm kind of bored by Kyle. Or I could go for their split. Summer could be a hot commodity on the GC singles market, as I suppose Kyle could be if he perks up out of his morose mommy coma. You know, I find their conflict to be believable. You know, I do think and relatable. The whose mother-in-law is worse is very relatable. But Sue, you make a good point that even though I like Summer and Kyle, individually on the singles market, they could be more interesting. And 'tis the season for breakups. Definitely we're seeing a lot of breakups right now, so it could be. Gary says, this is my statement that I'm turning against the new Summer she's a whiny milquetoast running after mommy and begging for her forgiveness and to be let back in after she did what she needed to do in firing Phyllis. Phyllis is playing her, and Phyllis can rationalize everything she's done to make the other person feel guilty. Yeah, that is probably it. Phyllis is rationalizing everything she's done to make the other person feel guilty. That really nails it. But I'm ignoring your comment that you don't like this Summer. I'm ignoring it, yet highlighting it at the same time. Ellen says, hey, Summer, Harrison isn't yours. Do you ever think about his actual mother? Nah, that disregard runs in your family. Ooh. Hot take. You know, this is an interesting question, though, kind of in alignment with what Victoria and Chelsea are going through. I mean, Chelsea is Johnny's mother, but is she really? Victoria is Johnny's mother. Isn't she? In every way that counts. And isn't Summer Harrison's mother in every way that counts? But it's not like Tara received a life sentence, and it's not like she's some horrible monster. I mean, she had like a money laundering something scam. She probably got a couple of years in a white-collar prison. I imagine that sooner or later, Tara is going to come back. Maybe in 2023. Well, last week I asked you guys, what does Y&R need more of in 2023? First place vote goes to plot twists. Action, adventure, plot twists. 35% of you just want some action on the show in 2023. I agree with that. Second place was a tie between love and romance and couples shakeups. We want some couples shakeups and some love. And then also, you know, tied with mystery, thrill, intrigue. You know, you want to be intrigued by the show. So, I mean, yes, these are the top three votes we want. Plot, twist, love, and mystery. You know, I think these are very predictable results. Everything else kind of fell in mostly just a couple votes. Diversity, over-the-top antics, classic characters, new characters, realism, villains. Those all just got a few votes. I voted over-the-top antics. I want it to be over the top in 2023. Practically no one voted for realism. But Tony says, wow, our chatter responses are all over the place. Plot twists clearly in the lead. It shows that the storylines are a little boring right now. I voted mystery, which could mean plot twists, but I want to see stories where the audience knows, but the characters don't. shift eyes of knowing, scheming, not so much. I did something years ago, but I'm a good person now. We need an evil person. Tucker's hinting at it, but he's not doing anything. I'd like to see Victoria be ruthless. Yeah, I guess I didn't think of it that way, Tony, but the fact that the number one vote just went to everybody wanting plot twists and some adventure, some action, maybe does speak that the show is a little action light right now. I think we've done a lot of deep character work this year. That's what that's how I feel. I feel like it has, and that's what that's what I wanted. I think the show was a little action heavy a couple years ago, and we weren't really getting into who the individual characters were. So maybe we just need a sprinkling, a peppering of some adventure. One story, pick one story or one person to take us on a little adventure. Well, speaking of adventurous, we have some 2023 predictions. My favorite part of Y&R Chat. I asked you guys last week to go in there and tell me what you think is going to happen in the year 2023. Y&R viewer 123 predicts that Paul will come back and get angry. Oh, Paul. If he does come back, he should get angry. But I actually agree with you. I feel like this is the year where Doug Davidson comes back. I mean, the 50th anniversary, we got all kinds of other returning characters. We're gonna see Paul this year. I can feel it. Tony says, I would like to see an old soap opera staple. An affair. On screen. Going on for a while. Not just one time on Devon's stairway. An affair with hurt feelings, tears, divorce, regret. You remember. Drama. I would like to see an old, I just repeated the same comment. That's so good. That's so good. A sticky, twisted feelings affair. The feelings are there. You should, you shouldn't. I mean, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. It is an oldie but a goodie, a good affair. But who do you want it to be? With. Yeah, I mean, Abby and Devon had the affair, but it was kind of a quickie, and they got caught real quick, and that was very satisfying. But yeah, I do like your idea of an ongoing affair, and it goes back to what you were saying before too, that it's that the viewers know it, but everybody else doesn't know it, and so you got the shifty eyes and the will they, won't they? Yeah, I agree. Good. Tina predicts that Jack will fall for Diane and then find out that she and Jeremy were working together to scam him. Phyllis will be proven right and will somehow save the family. Then by the end of the year, Jack will be back with Phyllis. Really? I don't know. I don't think Y&R's going to put Jack back with Phyllis. Maybe I'm just kind of hoping that they don't. I want something new for Phyllis. I want Phyllis and Tucker or Phyllis and Jeremy. Someone new for Phyllis. Sue W. says Jeremy will prove to be a paper tiger, settling in to toe the line as a business player in tandem with Tucker, Devon, and Lily at Chancellor Winters. Tucker can give him money to lay off Diane once and for all. Then Jack and Diane marry, while Phyllis has steamy affairs with both Jeremy and Tucker. Yeah, I like that. But also, Sue W., you predict, this is interesting, that Chance will be revealed as Dom's father. I mean, we had that little seed of like Dom needed a bone marrow squeegee and Devon was not a match, or he was a match, and whatever that was, it was inconsistent with the squeegee. And so we had that little scene, that little seed, thinking that maybe Devon wasn't going to turn out to be the father, and it's almost like Y&R just tossed that in there as a possibility for a later date. But what really would be interesting right now would be a plot twist to find out that Chance was Dom's father. That would complicate things with Abby and Chance. Samuel says Nate and Devon will hit a rock bottom in their relationship. Nate exposes Devon cheating on Amanda in a Newman Media article. Devon then sues Nate for false information, but then Amanda returns to testify to the fact that Devon did cheat. This causes a power struggle between Lily and Devon, and Jill sinks her company when she sides with Lily, and Tucker swoops in to exert control after Devon pulls a Nate and sells his shares to Tucker and Ashley's new company. Ooh, that's a nice, well-rounded prediction, too. I like that a lot. I like the idea that Amanda comes back, too, not gonna lie. Do you think that Michelle Morgan will come back next year? Because she did seem to say that she was willing to come do, some short-term stuff. She just didn't want to be maybe as part of the main cast, so maybe that's a good prediction. Maybe we'll see that, and I always like the companies juggling around, so I like that part, too. Lara says, I think Chancellor Winters will find itself in existential peril. Devon, through his arrogance and inability to listen to the advice of others, is responsible for a dangerous corporate crisis. Nate will see what is going on and quietly devise an ingenious way to save his family company. He will succeed and the family will forgive his past sins and welcome him back. That is usually the way that people get redeemed. They got to save the day. Someone else was predicting Phyllis saving the day. Tina. So yeah, I think that's a good, solid idea that Nate could be the one to save the family company after almost losing the family company. Here's one more prediction. Marianne V says, Adam will become the father of Sally's baby, which will get them back together. Until Chloe changes the paternity test to say it's Nick's baby to get Sally away from Adam. That is my favorite prediction so far, that Chloe is going to get in there and switch the paternity test results. I'll tell you right now, Chloe switching those paternity test results is just the kind of over-the-top antic that I need right now to ignite my interest in the whole who's the baby daddy storyline. I think Chloe could be switching the paternity test results not just so that Sally and Nick can share the child, but so that she can claim Adam for herself. Okay, everybody. Woo! That just about does it for me. That was a long one, but there was so much to talk about. And this is my first Y&R Chat being back on video, so I got, my extra pep today for that. I'm still working on my predictions, but I do think I have some good ones. I have it in a Word document, nicely saved, and when I have finished with it, I will paste it into the thread at yrchat.com that is titled Our 2023 Predictions, and that's where you also can leave your predictions for one more week. So I'm going to leave that up, I think, just through next Saturday. So you got to get them in this week if you want to make a prediction. Then I'm going to seal the vault, close it off, and we will look at them a year from now. Wow, that's crazy. Ooh. Well, also at yrchat.com, in addition to your predictions, you can leave your comments about the week shows. You can predict Sally's baby daddy, and you can see all of the photos which I meticulously and insanely have put up there, detailing each episode. Don't miss it. And don't miss coming back next week. I'll be here yet again for another Sunday and another chat and another week of Y&R, and I will see you all then. I love you. Happy New Year. Bye.